Good morning, friends. Hope all of you are fine. So, now today we are going to discuss on the topic of environmental impact assessment. All of you must be aware that environment is a dynamic phenomena where it is, or rather I could say that environment itself maintain balance of its own until we, the human, would not affect or interfere its basic cycles and the phenomena behavior. So here I would like today to discuss what is environmental impact assessment. As such, it's a very huge topic regarding to the discussion of environment. Initially, and not initially, I could say, since long time we people are using the resources of environment. We are using the environment. Our existence in the surrounding environment and ecology. But one thing I would like to say, initially our system was not that much aware regarding to the impact, what would be the impact of our human activity on the environment, though it was there. And one thing on the other facet of this matter also I would like to say, even before 3 to 4 decade, it was not that much effect or impact of human activities, especially development activity on environment. But since, or you can say since last 4 to 5 decades, now environment has been found degraded due to many direct or indirect point source or non-point source activities of the human. And it is the reason that now at global level and at international level, all we humans and our entire technocrats as a society and the people need to think about the environmental awareness. If we will continue by this way, there would be lots of question and would be arised for the sustainability, definitely. And in that regard, I would like to today discuss regarding to the environmental impact assessment. Here the environmental impact assessment itself is made up of 3 words. First is environment, what we people might have learned and understood since school level. Second one is impact and assessment. See, here I would like to say that impact word itself is a too much complex and comprehensive word. Here some people even that use in the equal manner or the as a similar word that effect, but at a fundamental level if we see effects and impacts little bit different, what I would like to note over here. But here we are concerned with the impacts, and impacts are very much necessary. That always whenever the impact word comes, we used to associate that it is concerned with some of the establishment or some initiative that is concerned with some of the impacts. Okay. And third word is assessment. Here we are supposed to assess if something would be established, if something would be new, if something would be created, what would be its impact on the environment. See, there are lots of impact. If, for example, if one industry would be established in your surrounding area, there will be lots of impact, some positive impact, some negative impact, like for and there are various types of impact. Well, I would like to say that there are some social impact, some financial impact, some socio-economical impact, some pollution impact, some environmental impact, like that way, some climate change impact, whatever that. So lots of change impacts are there. But here today what we are going to discuss is concerned regarding to the environmental, what would be the impact on environment. So here there are two words, there are two main phenomenal words there with concern or pertaining to the environmental engineering and environmental technologies and environmental science, that environmental assessment and environmental audit. So here first I would like to differ in layman language that environmental impact assessment is carried out before the establishment to be established, and the environmental audit that is being carried out at regular time of interval after the establishment. That is what we are auditing. What after establishing the particular industry or whatever the new any establishment, thereafter what would be its what is its impact going on, that is what we are auditing every. So that is environmental audit. Now as such as I would like to say that even I would like to congratulate even our university, Gujarat Technological University also, that they have specially framed this subject for the civil engineering and environmental engineering students, that it is very much demand of an hour for the environmental engineers, that we are supposed to understand not only technical consideration would be fair enough to control the environment, because thing would remain like this if we will not go by this type of strategical analysis and assessment. Then only what would be happen, new industry would continue to establish, they will start to release the pollution, there will be no control, and that our environment remains continuously, it would get degraded, and a time would be there would be no point of return. So environmental impact assessment is necessary. So I would like to what in simple layman language I will like to define that environmental impact assessment is an work or is a phenomena of assessment for to be carried out for the any new establishment or new any development that will take place, and what would be its impact on environment, ecology and surroundings. So even now let me say that it's my suggestions also to the fraternity of environmental engineering, as well as it's going on even at a international level and a globe level also, that they have now started to vast or to increase the scope of such environmental impact assessment as sustainability impact assessment. What would be the impact of any new establishment on sustainability, and environment should be part of that one sustainability, because if we consider the sustainability impact assessment, that would cover the wide aspect, including not only environmental impact, but it would include also the management and the impact of assessment on the other sustainable resources also. So that would be later on. So again I would like to say that this is the EIA system. As per the since see initially, as I told you, initially it was not that much concern for the environmental fraternity to include environmental impact assessment, but after it was in 70s it was under consideration, but not at the stage and at this much dedication what today it is. Actually after 92 or 93, that is in the 90s, it was came at prime focus at environmental engineering. Initially, let me say, some of the incident at a world level even happened, that it has warned the environmental fraternity and the people and of the technocrats also, that now there should be some strategy that must be included to assess the impact on the environment, right? So necessary impact can be considered, evaluated. Let me tell you one of the example of that particular that example may be considered in environmental safety also, hazardous waste also, even in environmental impact assessment also, like our Bhopal gas tragedy, which was happened in 1984 at Bhopal due to the some environment that was some lacking of environmental safety or some environmental accident, that was that, and the waste was even that waste was not categorized at that time under the hazardous category, that was methyl isocyanide, and which is a very dangerous gas what I can when it mix with the water and released to the air whatever our ambient air. So this was that. So initially I would not say that it was the not a government or the environment was not at all focus to that, but it was not that much awareness was that, and then it was established with the help of some new, introduced the new laws of environmental, all environmental law, like air pollution law, water prevention law, then wildlife law, that is then an air pollution, water. These all laws were then later on introduced because it was necessary for what I would like to say, that legal consideration also to support the environment, because initially there were only guidelines and norms, but they were not supported by the law. So after introducing the law, that has become more powerful for the implementation of at the necessary level. So today in that reference I would say that environmental impact assessment, suppose there are some government has specially schedulized some of the new venture establishment, whatever, that I would like to say that is they are scheduled in list. If they fall in that category, like schedule A, schedule B, so that category the government has specifically prepared through the various notification of environmental impact assessment. Let me say this is one of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, that is MOEF, that is there were its notification in 94 also, then it has been rectified timely and amended somewhere, but they have specifically categorized the various industries, various ventures, not only industries, various ventures, various establishments like mining activities also are there. They specifically mentioned that if this follow under that schedule or that category, they have to go for environmental impact assessment before its execution or before its working. So that they have already introduced, and according to that, if any of the such activity of any of such venture or establishment, if you would like to introduce, then you have to follow all the guidelines, all the procedure of the environmental impact assessment before establishing that particular establishment. So according to that, one of that guideline was that by the New Delhi Ministry of Environment and Forest. Let me say this is one of the sister concern or the concern in department of the environmental engineering. For one brief, I would like to say that there are in state level and central level, there are pollution control board which takes care or which carry out the all functionings of the for the control of environmental pollutions and whatever they are control the environmental management in the state and as well as in the central. They have their own norms, guidelines are there. Every new ventures, industries or concern industrial estate or domestic, whatever that they have to follow that guidelines precisely and without any fall. So it is very much necessary this, that is at state level it is State Pollution Control Board. For Gujarat, like we can say that is Gujarat Pollution Control Board, GPCB, and for Central Pollution Control Board it is Central Pollution, CPCB, which is situated at Delhi, and Gujarat Pollution Control Board head office situated at Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So according to that, but the Ministry of Environment Forest, they are the, you may say that it is the sister concern of this particular environmental pollution control management and abatement policies, which are government policy which are being followed and regulated by the government even. So they environmental, when matter comes of environmental impact assessment, definitely MOEF is the one of the very essential stakeholder. Even some of the local authorities are also involved with this pollution control board. So according to that impact assessment we are supposed to carry. For example, if I fall in that schedule A, for example, if I fall in that category, for example, let me give one example, that I want to start the nuclear power related projects such as heavy water plant, nuclear fuel complex, or like that way, or I would like to start the petrochemical complex, I would like to start chemical fertilizer, if I would start to any new venture or dam like River Valley project, hydropower project. There are various schedule 1 and 2, there are two categories. In schedule 1, as per presently what I have the document, according to that there are 29 they have industries, or there are 29, not I would say industry, but there are 29 types of projects they have enlisted in schedule 1. So if you would want to start that projects, then you have to go for environmental impact assessment mandatorily. And for second schedule 2 there are different. Okay. Sure. So according to that, what I like some of the pharmaceutical bulbs, even if you want to increase your size, for example, if you have industries in that particular this category, and if you want to increase your size, for example, if it is 100-ton capacity and if you want to go for 200-ton or 150-ton capacity, you want to increase the production capacity of that plant which is scheduled in this category, you may have to go for the environmental impact assessment. So please take care of this. There are list of project requirement, environmental clearance from the central government. It is very necessary. You people might have seen the particular notice or paper press cutting notice, that is environmental clearance and this environmental impact assessment. And if you have not seen, then please refer the newspaper, specifically English newspaper like Times of India or whatever, that you people may find some of the short notice, like a short advertisement or announcement like that is environmental clearance, and that you go that you come to know that particular. So in that reference, I would like to now specifically regarding to environmental impact assessment, something you are required to know and explore specifically what is the project, what is its description, what they are going to produce, either what would be the benefits of the project, what would be the tangible benefits of the project, what would be the direct impact or indirect impact of the project, how it would work, which resource it will require. So these all necessary factors which are already checklisted. So that checklisted factor as per the category, they will be required to address in the project description, that you are going to start one project, according to that you need something like that. Then what would be the description of environment in surrounding of that? If I want to start one nuclear power plant, or if I want to start one petrochemical industries in XYZ area, so what is the present status of surrounding environment presently? Because see here, later on I will say that baseline study, what is baseline study, but baseline study is very much necessary. if हिंदी में अगर मैं कहता हूँ कि आज क्या पोजीशन है, अगर मेरे को मालूम नहीं होगी तो 10 साल के बाद XYZ पोजीशन है, तो मुझे मालूम कंपेयर कैसे करूँगा कि हाँ व्हाट वाज द पोजीशन बिफोर 10 years. सो लेट मी से बिफोर 10 years what was the position of Delhi as per the pollution point of view, and what is the position of Delhi nowadays. So in this 10 years, so for any baseline study you need some data and the description presently, then you can compare the status of both the data. So during this environmental impact assessment you need to go for project description and what is the present status of the environment, including all, that is quality of air, quality of water, quality of soil or land, whatever that everything you are supposed to include in your whatever description. And you need to carry out the anticipated environmental impact and what would be its mitigation measure. Mitigation means how will you mitigate. Suppose you have to find what may be the probable impact on this established, if I am going to establish one petrochemical product or if cyanide project in this area, what would be its probable impact, not at this moment but see today there are various technical and various most advanced analysis and simulation models and tools are there, softwares are there. By that you may resemble very nearest situations and nearest real conditions with the which may match with the real conditions. So that would be possible definitely. So you may even show up to 80 or 85% even, or you may in some cases maybe up to the 90% that what would be the anticipated environmental impact if it will continue by present pattern of the environment, and if the same impact would be there, how will you mitigate, what measures of mitigations what we can say, that is नियंत्रण के जो स्टेप्स है, जो किस तरह हम उसको नियंत्रित कर सकते हैं, तो वो मिटिगेशन मेजर्स दैट वी मे इंक्लूड. some of the analysis and alternative, because see, this is not that much easy process to measure this all environmental impact and what would be the mitigation measures. So you have to go for various analysis, some laboratory analysis would also be required, some technical analysis, some socio-economical analysis, some statistical analysis, some purely scientific analysis, some survey based analysis. So analysis, and on that analysis you may even suppose a project some alternatives also there, how I can control the mitigate. If I want to mitigate some of the impact of the, for example, petrochemical or cyanide effect is there, and there is some pollution, air pollution may take place more. So how will you mitigate, how will you control that? So for that, one or two alternatives which are available in the scope of the technology that you may propose in that particular your report or description. Then how will you monitor your environment? You have to even also mention, as after establishment, how will you monitor the environment, because then and then you can come to know what impact has taken the place. For example, if I have established my one of the industry and thereafter I have started the production work or accordingly, that what was mentioned and what is the permission given to me, then it is, see, what I initially I told which was anticipated, only expected kaha tha ki itna hoga, but now it is necessary to assure and to confirm that कि जो मैंने कहा था उतना ही pollution हो रहा है, उतना ही उसके आसपास हो रहा है, उससे बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है. So that is, you need to monitor. So what is the status of environment? What is the status of environment after establishment? It is, and not it is one time, it is regularly to be measured. So please notice that it is very much necessary that environmental monitoring program, and how it will be carried out, environmental monitoring program, who will carry it out, what would be the system of environmental monitoring program, and how, when to produce to the authority this such monitor, the results of such monitoring. Then some additional studies which are required for the environmental impact assessment. Sometimes there is some survey work, socio-economical survey, some of the feedback of the people, some of the constraint you may even find. Then what are the basic reason of that, what were the previous historical issues of that region, that some you need to carry for that person. This comes under additional studies. Then you have to project the project benefits. What are the, if this project will be established and it will start, what would be the benefit of the project? Not only I am asking here about the project benefit, means financial project benefit to the particular person or particular organization or particular company. I am asking, I want to notify here regarding to the benefits, that is socio benefit, socio economical benefit, how it will be beneficial to the society also, how it will be beneficial to the nation also, how it would be helpful to the individual in all sense, social, economical. Let me say one industry would be established at some location, so placement would be there, people will get placement in that region. So somewhere economy would be maintained, some economy will come in liquefaction, that is part of that. So this would be the some of the benefits of that. And the most important thing, that is you need to measure the environmental cost benefit, not your financially cost benefit. I am want to name that environmental cost benefit analysis means what would be the expenditure to implement this system and what would be its benefit. It is just like our formal or the nominal cost benefit analysis, but here we would like to include the basic factors of environment rather than the common factors. So till now what we have discussed regarding the need of EIA, why we should go for environmental impact assessment. So in nutshell, what I would say that we have to go for environmental impact assessment to confirm that the whatever the establishment it is scheduled in the category of as suggested by the authorities, that we have to assure that our establishment would not create any negative impact on the environmental as well as on sustainability, because here our efforts are through the EIA is to preserve the earth, to preserve the environment, to preserve the sustainability of the resources. So that is very much clear, you should clear this thing, that is the need of EIA. Then and it follows the Environmental Protection Act, as the Environmental Protection Act itself explain the same thing, that why we should go for the particular environment. And as a in a brief, if I would like to say that if Environmental Protection Act, it was really enacted in 1986 with the objective of providing protection and improvement of environmental. It empowers the central government to establish the authority charged with the mandate of preventing environmental pollution in all of its forms and tackle specific environmental problems that are peculiar, specifically to the different parts of the country. Here we are supposed to, because in some of the part of the country or the region or nation, what we can say that it is the concern with the water pollution is more, somewhere it is regarding to air pollution more. If we see that in regarding to Delhi, if it is here the presently the focus is on the matter of air pollution. Due to in some of the region where the water issues are there, so that water environment. So here Environmental Protection Act itself combinedly or the comprehensively it support this to control and the abatement of such type of environmental issues. That is very much necessary to be addressed in environmental impact assessment. Let me link here over here that Environmental Protection Act must be complied in environmental impact assessment. It is very much necessary for that, and therefore in environmental impact assessment all aspect of the environment, like that is air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, land pollution, this all type of and whatever concern pollution matter, these are all concerned in that particular impact assessment. Now, so we are clear here what is the need of environmental impact assessment, what is the Environmental Protection Act, and what is the role of EIA. Now the next thing to discuss is the what are the steps of environmental impact assessment, how it will work. So if we discuss about the steps of environmental impact assessment, then first step is to screen. First step is screening. We must confirm that whether this type projects XYZ project, as I already told you, which are scheduled in category 1 or category A, whether this particular project is required for environmental impact assessment, that you have to decide. That is first step of the environmental impact assessment, that is screening. Second step, it is scoping. Okay, once we have decided that XYZ industries or XYZ project is required environmental impact assessment, now you are required to support and to explore what is the scope of that environmental impact assessment. That is, you have to decide what needs to be covered in the assessment work, what things you are going to cover in this assessment work, and it should be reported very specifically and very precisely in the environmental impact assessment report. So again repeat, first step is screening, second step is scoping, then third one is preparation of EIA report. There are very specific guidelines to prepare the environmental impact assessment, where the EIA report has to include the likely significant environmental effects of the development, whatever the development or establishment you want to continue, or you are projecting that, so that whatever the significant environmental impact on that particular as well as sustainability effect, that you have to very specifically mention in environmental impact report with all necessary supporting documents and as per the predefined formats given by the authority. That is, you are very much necessary. This is third step, preparation of environmental report. Now thereafter you are supposed to prepare or supposed to make an application and the consultation. That is very much necessary. The EIA report and development application must be published or including somewhere electronic advertisement, that is e-advertisement, right? Interested party, who are the interested party? Because see, whenever you want to develop some project or you establish some project in that region, so you don't know who are the affected parties, so you may give the publicity, or you may given your announcement in the newspaper or that whatever the media, that interested party and the surrounding public, or the who are the public who are interested or who are going to be affected by this particular project, must be given an opportunity to give their views on it. It is the it supports the our law system, that is natural law of justice, that is they must have right to give view on that, whatever the issue if we want to raise during that particular, if it is viable issues are that, and they may raise during that. So this is 4 step what I was saying, that making an application and consultation. Then after this, here whatever this, next it would be decision making. Decision making, the whatever the EIA, environmental impact assessment report meant, and any comment made on it, either with the help of whatever the authority, or whenever it will be scrutinized, that reports and analysis report, that must be taken into the accountant by the into the account by the competent authority. Whatever the competent authority, that they will check that, they will analyze that, they will confirm and verify that whether what the things mentioned are viable or whatever, or they are properly that, and thereafter they will take the decision whether to give consent for such development, should we allow this development or not. The decision notice, what would be that has to be published. What I told you, that it is in a newspaper, it is published with the form of, that is XYZ Industries or XYZ Venture is given environmental clearance for the established, and then you people please refer the Times of India newspaper or any newspaper where it will be given this type of clearance by the government. And thereafter, once decision taken, the last step, this is 6th number step, that is post decision. Here the developer, whatever the developer, the project people, or the establishing agency or company or whatever that, they start to any monitoring required by the competent authority. If the competent authority will specify specifically that this type of monitoring would be required and it would be produced to the competent authority time to time, then so particular developer has to follow this guideline. Even, and let me tell you, environmental impact decisions and their follow up under the purview of the jurisdiction of the courts. So if you have to go for, somebody will not follow, that may take the place of legal matter. So please, all concerned should take very clearly that this can be very seriously. So this was the steps of EIA, environmental impacts. There are 6 steps. I will again like to say enlist about these all steps. That is, first one is screening, then scoping, preparing the EIA report, making an application and consultation, decision making, and post decision. That is very much necessary. So, and the last step after the environmental, this type of it is very much necessary to monitor whether this project report, or whether that is this project and the after environmentally this establishment would meet the sustainability aspect. It is, dear friends, it is very much necessary. And let me say that it is not only the documental requirement or the legal requirement or the procedural requirement, but it is our moral responsibility also, that for any industry or any, that they should at least take, suppose nobody will have any objection that why this industry is established or any development has taken place, that definitely with the development and new development and new advanced industries, it is the demand of any developing or developed country. But parallelly, when such industries or such development gives you lots of prospect and lots of opportunity, you should take also care of the environment where this particular development is already established. It is our moral duty. So this was regarding to the environmental impact assessment, how it will be carried and how. So in next session, anytime, we will again meet for the some another matter. Thank you.